journey to WrestleMania is almost complete. We are 3 weeks away from completing this journey. Now make no mistake about it, it has not been an easy ride. We have hit a lot of turbulence, speed bumps, potholes, and now to make things worse, we're hitting a roadblock this coming Saturday night. While all of that's going on, Monday Night Raw was going on in the Allstate Arena in Chicago, Illinois. And we had a great show on Monday Night Raw. We started with Shane McMahon denouncing his father as an egotistical, maniacal windbag. Now that's not exactly what Shane said, but I'm not going to say that because this is a family show for you all. All I'm going to say, the word started with a B. So after Shane said that, Shane goes on and says, once he takes over full control of Monday Night Raw, he's going to change things up. He's been noticing a lot, Shane, that a lot of the talent back there has been overlooked. And he wants to make the talent that's been overlooked finally get their shot. And he also said that he wants to make the talent that's been getting a lot of looks finally get no looks. He wants to make it finally equal for everybody on the WWE roster. And if you think about it, he's making a point. He's seeing the WWE's flagship show take a turn for the worse. Now, this is all in Shane McMahon's eyes. Okay? Now, a lot of you may see it one way, a lot of you may see it the other way. Take it each way you want. This is what Shane wants to do, but he has to get through The Undertaker first to make this happen. Will he get through The Undertaker? Your guess is as good as mine. In my opinion, I say no. Because my reasoning behind this is because I look at it as a way of what happened 15 years ago. When Shane was part of the Alliance storyline with then the WWF. And we all know how that ended up. It ended up in a complete disaster. It ended up with Shane McMahon losing, thus not having a job in the WWE at that time. Fast forward now 15 years later, Shane's fighting for control of the WWE again. Now, here's my question I want to raise to you. If Shane McMahon loses at WrestleMania, will this finally prove to Shane McMahon that he cannot beat the Elder McMahon? Should Shane McMahon continue to try and beat the Elder McMahon if, let's say, he loses on Sunday at WrestleMania? Or, here's another question I'm going to raise to you. If Shane McMahon pulls off this win, somehow against The Undertaker at WrestleMania on Sunday, April 3rd, will this finally put to rest the obstacle that lied all this time in front of Shane McMahon? That I couldn't beat my own man at his own game, and finally I did beat his prodigy, The Undertaker, to finally say, I'm the man of the WWE. Two interesting questions I posed up there. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think Shane has what it takes to finally overtake the Elder McMahon? Or do you think Shane is doomed for failure like he was with the Alliance 15 years ago? It's up for debate. And it's a big debate, and I think it's a good debate that we should all have. So let me know what you think, okay? Hit us up on our Facebook page, Watch the Podcast. We are very curious to hear what you have to say about that. Because that was the talk of the town. And I want to make it the talk of next week's show as well. But if you thought that was the end of the show on We Love It Raw, guess again. We got a lot more to talk about. And we're going to start right now with the Divas in the championship SSC. Now, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte. All three of them from NXT. Great competitors. They know each other like the back of a book. I'm going to say nothing bad about them. They are fantastic. They have revolutionized the WWE's Divas division since day one. But this thing with the Divas title is getting out of control. Let me take you back to last week. Becky and Sasha are going at it one-on-one in the middle of the ring to see who would be the legitimate number one contender for the Divas title. The match ended in a draw. Fast forward to Thursday night. Rematch. Becky, Sasha, again, draw. But the twist was, Charlotte got involved with Ric Flair. Now, what repercussions would that have? Because Charlotte is saying, I'm born to be a champion, that none of you have what it takes to be a champion. I'm not going to defend my belt at WrestleMania, nor am I going to defend my belt until there's a viable candidate. So the authority heard this and said, hold your horses here. You don't make the matches. We do. We're still in control of WWE and Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. So as long as we're in control, you listen to us. So the punishment was Charlotte had to defend the title now in a triple threat match against Becky and Sasha. Champion's disadvantage. If I had to pick a winner, Sasha Banks. Now I know a lot of you would pick Charlotte or Becky. And that's your opinion. You choose who you think is the best candidate to win the match. But I'm sure a lot of you would pick Sasha Banks. Because it's an obstacle and a dream of hers to be on top of the Divas division in WWE. So that was a newly created match for WrestleMania, and it was done on Thursday night. Interesting. Interesting, if I have to say the least. Then we had Kevin Owens, and he went against Neville. Now, these two, again, former NXT rivals. Know each other like the back of a book. And Kevin Owens just decimated Neville beyond oblivion. And the onslaught continued after the match until Sami Zayn got involved. Now, here's where it gets very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens were former best friends. Until one fateful night in NXT, Kevin Owens completely took Sami Zayn out of action for almost a year. And since that time, Sami Zayn has been eyeing and extracting revenge, plots, and tactics and techniques. And so finally, after the onslaught to Neville continued by Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn had enough, and he took it to Kevin Owens. Now, with that being done, I'm completely surprised we did not have an Intercontinental Championship match made on Raw last night. But I still think we are going to have an Intercontinental Championship match on Monday at WrestleMania. You will see another triple threat match, and I still think you're going to see Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Neville vie for that title. Another champion's disadvantage, but it will be another important match to make WrestleMania relevant right now. Because as we speak, WrestleMania is irrelevant. There's not many important matches. So, adding this match will make it a bit more relevant. So let's see what happens if this match does come true. It should. I think it will. And I think it's going to be done by Thursday night. So let's see what happens. Now, here's where we get real interesting. I mentioned in the beginning of the show Roadblock this Saturday night in Toronto. And we have a matchup that I think is a one-sided affair. Dean Ambrose and Triple H. Now, this match actually got made last week, courtesy of the Onslaught, after Triple H beat down Dean Ambrose. Now, fast forward to last night. What does Dean Ambrose have to say about what happened to him, courtesy of the 14-time WWE World Champion Triple H?
The road to WrestleMania was free and clear, and everybody knew where they were going. I was getting off on that Suplex City exit. Triple H planned on going into WrestleMania as WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And he planned on taking on Roman Reigns. And that was that. Plans were set in stone. We already printed the posters. We're off to the races. And then Dean Ambrose shows up and threatens to screw everything up by winning the WWE Championship on March 12th. How inconvenient. Look, I know it's bad timing 3 weeks before WrestleMania, but I don't care. I don't care what Triple H's plans were. I don't care what Roman Reigns' plans were. Fact of the matter is, this Saturday night on the WWE Network, I'm hijacking the WWE Championship and I'm hijacking WrestleMania, whether anybody likes it or not.
If you thought Dean Ambrose wasn't crazy now, he just got crazier. I still think he's delusional because of that beatdown he got from Triple H last week. He wants to go to Roadblock, hijack the show, and hijack the WWE title? Has he lost his mind? What makes him think that he's going to walk out of Toronto the WWE champion? Now, speaking of that, I read something else online that backs up this scenario that I mentioned. Now, we all know that Roman Reigns is scheduled to fight Hunter for the WWE title at Mania at the main event. But because of the beatdown that Hunter gave Roman 2 weeks ago, Roman has been MIA ever since. He's had legitimate surgery. Now, it wasn't because of the beatdown, it was due to another injury he suffered a while back. So now, what I read, and what Dean Ambrose said, might happen. I hope it doesn't, but it might. I read on a website, and if you want to read about it, go to www.nodq.com to read up on this scenario, that if WWE gets the word by Saturday that Roman Reigns is not going to be available for WrestleMania in Dallas, the scenario is this. They have Dean Ambrose beat Triple H, goes against Brock Lesnar for the WWE title at WrestleMania. So stay tuned for a possible development and a possibility of an upset. Like I said, I don't want it to happen, But I might have to face the reality that it might just happen if Roman Reigns says, I'm not available for WrestleMania. Roman, as much as I hate you, be available. Be a man, show up, and fight Hunter at WrestleMania. Don't make Dean Ambrose champion. But enough of my rambling. Let me continue on with this segment. After Dean Ambrose said that, we were graced by the presence of the WWE World Champion, Triple H. And here's his statement to Dean Ambrose about what he said at Roadblock.
A fun little fantasy you got going on there, Dean. I almost hate to be the guy to ruin it for you, but let me bring you back down to reality. Reality is that this WWE World Heavyweight Championship is going to stay with me as long as I want it to. Roman Reigns thought he could take it away from me, and they're gluing his face back together. I thought you would know better. But maybe you need to take another trip over to the announce table to learn what it means.
So there you go. There's your statement by the corporate champion, the King of Kings, Triple H. He is saying to Dean Ambrose that you'll never get a hand on the WWE title for as long as I'm champion. Roman Reigns tried it. He failed. You tried it. You're going to fail. So the scenario that I mentioned earlier is still in play. But the other scenario, I hope, happens that Triple H walks into Toronto Saturday, champion, walks out of Toronto, champion on Saturday. So let's see. It's going to be very interesting. But with the way Dean was talking and with the way Hunter's talking, who knows how this is going to play out. We might have a draw. Who knows? Hell, we might even have the WrestleMania main event at Roadblock Saturday night. Who knows? It's very interesting to see how this all plays out. I'm curious. I'm going to be watching. And you will be getting a review on Saturday night. And you will hear it only on We Love It Raw the next night. So make sure you stay tuned for a very We Love It Raw Roadblock edition coming up this past weekend. So what do you think of the show right now, ladies and gentlemen? Intriguing? Disturbing? Exciting? Turbulent? Let us know. Please, don't be afraid. Come out of your shell, come out of your hiding spots, and say something about this show. What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? Am I doing a good job? Am I doing a bad job? Do you want to hear more of Mr. Caldero? Do you not want to hear Mr. Caldero? Say what's on your mind. Hit us up on our YouTube page at Watch the Podcast, please. Don't be afraid. Say what's on your mind. And we will say it next week on the show. Now, I know our viewership has been down. That's because you guys are afraid to come out of your hiding shells and go on the computer and say something about this show. Whether it's good or bad, we don't give a crap. Say what's on your mind. We are open to anything that comes to mind. Okay? Don't be afraid. Please, open your mouths, get on the keyboards, get on your computers, and say what's on your mind. So let's continue to the finish line of We Love It Raw here. The WWE Tag Team titles are now on the line. It is Team Y2AJ against the New Day. And it's been 197 days since the New Day won the tag team titles. And they have had a successful 197-day reign as tag team champions. Now, Y2AJ, a new formidable tag team that was made last week on Monday Night Raw, laid down the challenge to the New Day. And this was a very good match. There were moments after moments that I really thought that Y2AJ was going to walk out of Chicago as the WWE Tag Team Champions. But, thankfully, and I thank the good Lord above, that the New Day pulled off the win, thus continuing their reign as the dominant tag team champions of the modern WWE era. So, it's interesting now. If the Dudleys couldn't do it, if the Usos couldn't do it, if PTP couldn't do it, and now if Y2AJ couldn't do it, who's going to stand in their way of trying to dethrone them as WWE Tag Team Champions? I can't think of any team that's formidably out there to win the Tag Team Gold. I mean, unless there's a new team being made up, who knows? Well, let's see what happens. But the interesting part about the end of that match was Jericho turning on AJ, because Jericho was a little, I would say, jealous of all the attention that AJ Styles was getting since January's Royal Rumble. So I think it got to Jericho, and he wanted to take out his animosity, and he did. So I look for something to happen within the next few weeks for WrestleMania. Possibly a kickoff match or a mid-card match at WrestleMania. So stay tuned for details about that one here on our show. And as soon as we hear something, we're going to let you know. Okay? We're getting close here, ladies and gentlemen. Show's almost over. We have Dolph Ziggler, and he was confronted by Stephanie McMahon, and this is all overdue to a tweet. Now, you remember 2 years ago at Survivor Series, it was Dolph Ziggler basically versus the Authority. So it was like Team Cena versus the Authority, and in the end it was Dolph Ziggler against the Authority. And somehow Dolph Ziggler pulled off the biggest upset in WWE history by dethroning and taking out the Authority out of power. Now, since that time, the Authority has regained power, and Dolph Ziggler's career has been in a downhill slide. Okay? So, fast forward to tonight, last night on Monday Night Raw. Stephanie confronts Ziggler and says, Dolph, I didn't like that tweet you mentioned about the Authority. And, she was happy that that it was taken down, but it came with a price. The price was that Dolph Ziggler had to go on a 3-on-1 handicap match with no help against the League of Nations, Sheamus, Rusev, and Barrett. And it was quickly a one-sided affair, okay? The League of Nations ended up winning, but Dolph Ziggler did eliminate Wade Barrett. So, if you think about it, it was a 2-on-1 match, but it was still advantage League of Nations. So, that's what happens when you cross the Authority. You get punished. And finally, we're going to get to the main event here, which is the Bray Wyatt versus Dean Ambrose match, which was made per the request of Triple H during that segment in which those two were going at it to see who was going to be the WWE Champion come Saturday night after Roadblock. And this match had it all. This was a renewed rivalry from a couple of months ago, and it was a good match. They both hit their moves, and it ended up being a no contest because the rest of the Wyatts interfered and got involved. But that was also because Triple H ordered it to happen. And the Wyatts laid Dean Ambrose to waste, and Triple H comes back out, And he says, I hope he finally got it through your thick head. I hope he finally understands that if you crossed the authority, you get punished. And as Hunter was about to do something, Ziggler popped up and hit Dirty Deeds on Triple H. Now, I think with that action by Dean, just opened up a big can of worms, because I think you just aggravated the corporate champion. Okay? So, come Saturday night, because of that, I think Triple H is going to lay his ass out. We're in for a ride, ladies and gentlemen, coming up Saturday night, okay? It's going to be interesting. This is the first brand new pay-per-view of the WWE. It's going to be interesting, and I think we're in for a very fun night. And if you don't have the WWE Network, get up off your ass and get it, because you're missing out. And for the first time ever, WrestleMania is free. And speaking of WrestleMania, quickly on a side note, ladies and gentlemen, the Big Boss Man is going into the WWE Hall of Fame. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the show. And like I said, don't be afraid. Get up, get behind the computer, get on the keyboard, and just say what you want. Say anything good or bad about the show. Say something good or bad about me. Say something good or bad about Mr. Caldero. Do you want us to do the show together? Do you want him doing the show? Do you want me doing the show? Do you want it half and half? Say what's on your effing mind, people. Don't be afraid. We want you to open up and be vocal. That's what this show is about. We are open to anything, positive or negative, discouraging or encouraging. It's all about you. It's not about us. It's about you. We are only here to do our job, and that is to give you insight, review, and analysis about Monday Night Raw. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this show. You know, it was fun giving it to you, and I look forward to giving you a special We Love It Raw Roadblock edition come Saturday night. So stay tuned, and I am the boss, signing off. And just remember, ladies and gentlemen, keep it real and keep it raw, and to always respect the authority.